Hello, investors. This is Ted Zhang, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Thursday, October 3rd, coming to you from Fort Lauderdale with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. State of the market, we are still in an uptrend. Market leaders, we still have in a bullish green up arrow. Short term, still above the 21 EMA. Medium term, still above the 50-day moving average. And long term, still above the 200. So we still have all four green arrows. Do want to note that we are below the 8 EMA for the third day in a row now. And summary of today would be S&P 500 failed attempt at reclaiming the 8 EMA and the key support hold once again. Just keeping it simple, good above the line, bad below. So what happened today? 21 over 21 list up 0.73%, 12 up, 3 sideways, 6 down. And that just shows leaders are doing well. Big 8 down 0.13%, RG8 down 0.48%, S&P 500 down 0.17%, RSP down 0.47%, QQQ down 0.07%, QQEW down 0.30%, Dow Jones down 0.62%, mid caps down 0.42%, small caps down 0.87%, 60/40 down 0.43%, and GROTECTION up about 0.03%. So as always, let's jump right into the S&P 500. Here's a daily chart. Once again, we talk about this 5670 level, plus or minus 5 to 10 points. We continue to hold above that line, which is good. And so we broke out on this day, 9/19, trended above the 8 EMA, had this one day here, back below the 8, closed below. Yesterday, we saw a lower low and then closed in the upper end of the range, holding this line. Today, we actually put in an inside day while still holding this line. Volume is contracting, so this is still a healthy pullback back to the base breakout high and the 21 EMA. So still really healthy action. Some back and fill is totally healthy, and we'll see what happens from here. RSP, still healthy action. Pull back to the 21 EMA so far, and we'll see what happens down here. We definitely want to see the 21 EMA hold. This index, though, is pretty much near all-time highs, just like the S&P. So that is really great that both indexes or ETFs are moving in lockstep. Qs, we are below this line that I mentioned of 822 highs, but some back and fill here is still healthy, still holding the 21 EMA. We definitely want to see us retake 485.54, and I think we'll see some more momentum come into the markets. So you can see the 50-day is flat now. If we do take out that level, move higher, I expect 50-day start sloping up, and that'd be great to see. Dow Jones, still really strong. I mean, closed right at 42,000. Saw reversal on 927, and we're just pulling in a little bit. Still within an uptrend, still healthy. Not too much to say here. Mid caps, and I talked about it on some previous videos. We saw this pretty much V-shaped recovery, and what I've talked about is playing out almost exactly how I wanted to. We found resistance at 31.43, and now we're just starting to build a handle now. And as I drew in the past, this is kind of like what I wanted to see, a handle build, and now let's see us clear these tops. Russell is a bit weaker. We did have this V shape, did pull back like I wanted to as we built this little pivot. We tried coming out, poking our head here, but so far we're making a lower low relative to 925. So this is definitely gonna need more time, but still not broken at all yet. 50 days down here, flattened. We could just test that and then continue to build out this space. Something like that. Maybe we just need some more right side development. As you can see, you do have some VCP action. So this 2300 level continues to be a key area. VIX, though, does look bullish, and breaking that downtrend line. We're back above 20 as well. And that's usually a sign of volatility. So this does give us a bit of a warning flag, cautionary tale that we are going to take at face value. We know that there's Middle Eastern tensions, port strikes. Israel's looking to retaliate against Iran. Iran sent missiles to Israel. Israel's also invading Lebanon. So there's a whole slew of different macro geopolitical factors playing out there. So keep this on close watch. Above 30 is bear market warning. Above 20 is more pullback correctional warning. So we don't want to see the VIX get too high. Dollar continues to stay elevated, close above the 50-day moving average. We'll talk about yields in a bit, but dollar and yield higher, definitely headwinds to the markets. It's definitely clear change in character as we trended below the 21 EMA this whole time. 2 days ago, we had to close above the 21 EMA, and now we have to close above the 50. Gold still flagging an all-time high. Even though the dollar is strong, gold is holding up in there, and this flag looks extremely constructive. Gold miners, definitely weaker than gold, breaking and closing below the 21 EMA here. Silver, building almost a flawless cup with handle. Beautiful VCP characteristics. And again, I've talked about this level, 29.56. We take that out, and silver probably has higher prices to go. And this is actually quite a flawless and perfect base that I like to see. Look, you have a huge move up on huge volume. This consolidation within the base has pretty much been below average volume. Up this right side, accumulation, and now this handle below average volume. Bitcoin, let's flip over the trading view to showcase Bitcoin. We broke out of this clean level above 65,000, and it looked like we're about to head to 70,000, but we failed here so far. Positive side is we did hold a 50-day moving average so far and 60K. This just needs more time for now. What you can see is this could either be a stage 3 top forming or a stage 3 top, but that can also continue into stage 2 uptrend. So let's go to bonds as well. Bonds all started breaking down. This is the 2-year note, 5-year note, 10-year, and then 30-year T-bond, which means yields are rising. And with the 2-year rising, since the Fed follows the 2-year yield, this means that the bond market is pricing in potentially less rate cuts than previously expected. What the 10-year yield tells me is that there's higher growth and inflation expectations, either or, could be both. So that is definitely interesting to see. Another angle is that Stanley Druckenmiller has a 15 to 20% short bond position because of the deficit. So if people start having less trust in the US institution to pay back its debts, they're going to demand higher yields for our bonds. So that could also be a different angle playing out here as well. So now onto the tail of the tape. Some things to update. VIX, definitely a warning sign above 20 again. AAII switched today, down 4 points, bulls to 45.5, but that is still above average. Bears took up 4 points to 27.3, still below average, and then NAM pretty much didn't change, still quite elevated at 87. That is not extreme though, that we've seen go past 95 to 100. That's really where the big warnings come. However, since we're still above the 21 EMA, we still have the bull case, we're still above that S&P line that we've been talking about in the last 2 weeks. And so just really keeping it simple. Good above the line, bad below. GAB is what I call it, GABB, GAB. Today's news, stronger than expected services data, which probably caused a sell-off in bonds and a rise in bond yields. Google, nuclear, we talk about potentially extracting some electricity for their data centers from nuclear power plants. So that caused CEG, VST, NRG, and other nuclear names and power generation names to catch a bid. Then tomorrow we have the huge government jobs report, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate from the government. And this is definitely what the Fed will be staring at as well. Today's day count, we went from down 1 or consolidation 1 to I'm naming it consolidation 2, especially since it's an inside day. 3 days below the 8 EMA, 17 days above the 21 EMA. Expectations are still positive right now. S&P ATR continues to drop, which is what we like to see. But again, what I said before, the VIX is rising. Another notable thing is crude is up 5.34% on Middle Eastern tensions. Gasoline was up today as well. Sectors, bond yields were up, dollar is up, energy, tech, and oil were up. Bond prices down, obviously. Discretionary, builders, and real estate down as well. China pulling back a bit, KWEB ETF, and then copper. But China, let me just make sure that the individual names are definitely mixed. Some are up enormous amounts, and it does make sense some pullback is needed in those names. Today in GROTECTION, we added Flutter, NVIDIA, and MSTR. That brought our beta up to 1.47. And bottom line is S&P failed attempt at reclaiming the AEMA, but key support continues to hold. All right. So heading on, I just want to showcase 4 charts of interest for me personally. And then we'll go to our 21 over 21 list and highlight the top 5 names on the upside as well as the downside. First one is Kava. We pulled back here. Undercover reclaimed the 21 EMA. People often forget previous key levels, and I'm going to highlight this high volume close that we reclaimed today. Follow through tomorrow could be an add. Today was also an add as well. Tomorrow we could take out the gap day's highs. That could be another level to use. CART, nice breakout here out of the base. Now we're pulling back with some back and fill action on top of this IPO base. This is definitely an area to look to add on. A cat pattern is usually just a stock that breaks out of a mid-base pivot, not a handle, doesn't form a handle, breaks out, pulls back, and forms a little 12 to 18-day base on top. So we're now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll be looking for here to add on to for my clients as well. NVIDIA, we added this today. Wedge pop above the 8 and 21 after yesterday's reversal off the 50. This is one pivot, but a more major pivot is 130. And MSTR, we added some back today as well after trimming the strength. That was a great move after this break over 150, and now we're starting to flag here. If Bitcoin could get into gear, over 180 is a buy, and then definitely over 200 is another buy. Finally, let's go over 21 over 21. Number one name, Palantir, just amazing move, up 4.67% out of the short flag after this gap up added to the S&P 500. This continues to trend perfectly above the 8 EMA. It's extended now, so we'll look to get in on when it bases up again, and RS line new highs as well. CEG, we do own this one. And on the Google News, this blasts into new all-time highs after a highest volume ever gap up into all-time highs, followed by the power generation deal with Microsoft. NVIDIA, name we added onto today, so I will not give too much more commentary about that. Axon continues to blast off into all-time highs after its earnings gap. Just a really nice move so far. Blast off, pull back to 21 EMA, broke this downtrend line, and we're just trending perfectly above the 8 EMA. And more and more civil unrest is happening in the world. Political tensions are rising, so it makes sense that Axon that develops the taser and other law enforcement gear is doing well. And finally, Kava, just acting well. Let's go on a 60-minute, actually. We talked about this, broke this downtrend line. So tomorrow could be a potential add-on as well. So I'll go over Shark Ninja as well. This just has been an extraordinary name. So many of us own Shark Ninja products at 51% year over year on earnings, 31% growth. That is great. And just this is the epitome of a perfect trend. Doesn't even test the 21 EMA. There's trends along the 8 EMA the entire time. That's a dream for us, and those are the names we would love to be in. And I'll talk about Flutter since we added on to as well. Gapped up on they raised EBITDA guidance, pulled back to EMA, saw a reversal today, so we decided to add on to our position. On the downside, Tesla, I've talked about this on the podcast and videos. We broke this 235 level, filled the gap, came up to this 265 area, which was huge resistance that I talked about, and rejected hard so far. Part of it was the catalyst on lower than expected delivery numbers. We still are hanging in there around the 21 EMA, earnings in 13 days, and then now it's October 3rd, October 10th. They also have the robo taxi event. This could just be a handle for me. We could find support here, back and fill, and then break out. That would definitely be an add-on. And then 300 level is just a huge, huge level that goes all the way back to 2021. DoorDash was down today, but this is just beautiful action. Broke out this handle, broke out the base, and now just putting in a flag, little flag so far on top of this base on lower than average volume. MicroStrategies was down, but we added on to it on the reversal. Nice flag forming below this 180 level. And so those will be key levels we're watching for. FFIV, just really nice flag action, even though it was down. Tight action. Oracle, after the gap, forming a nice triangle here, or pennant, or whatever you want to call it. Contraction of volume as well, and just looking great. And when names on our 21/21 are down and they're not breaking down, they're actually looking constructive or just exhibiting normal action, that is a great, great sign. And so that will wrap it. As always, we would love to hear from you. My email is ted@revereasset.com. And then you can reach out to Dan and Don at revereasset.com. Our phone is 855-REAL-WEALTH, and that is 855-732-5932. And we named our flagship portfolio GROTECTION, and that comes with a dual mandate that we are emphasizing growth during uptrends and protection during downtrends. Right now, with 4 green up arrows, that means we're in the grow mode. If you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that said, I'll wrap it up for today. It's Thursday, October 3rd, 4:42 p.m. This is Ted Zhang with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Please like and subscribe, comment. That really helps us with the algorithm. And thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your week. Look forward to our podcast and then our weekend video as well.